Ons is bevoorreg dat ons vandag ook bewustheid kan skep vir palliatiewe sorg, want die Palliatiewe Sorg-konferensie 2023 vind vanaf die 26ste tot die 29ste April in Kaapstad plaas. En vanoggend sluit Dr. Tracey Brand by ons aan om meer daaroor te gesels. Good morning, doctor.
Morning. Please just call me Tracey.
Great. Tracey, let's start with what is palliative care and what is your role as a social worker?
I think what we first have to do is look at palliative care. Most people think is about end-of-life care, and it's so far from that. Palliative care is about comfort care. It's about working, so we work specifically with children, working with children with life-limiting and life-threatening illnesses, and looking at their pain and their symptoms and their psychosocial issues, as well as that of their family, and look at giving them quality in the days that they have left if they do have a terminal illness. But also, as I said, it's just really about comfort care and not about end-of-life care. And as a palliative care social worker, my role is helping the family and the child, if they're old enough, to understand the diagnosis, the prognosis, trying to look at how we can manage their symptoms, manage their pain, manage their emotional and spiritual pain, and help them deal with the diagnosis that they've received.
So it's a bit more of a, I know the word is controversial, holistic way of looking at it. It's not just the basic health care of the patient, it is the care of, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a deeper level?
Absolutely, and I think that's the absolute word. You nailed it on the head. It is about holistic care. It's looking about the body, the mind, the spirit of the child and of the family, and providing them care on all of those levels, and not just looking at the diagnosis.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about palliative care?
I think one of the biggest is that they think palliative care is only when you're dying. And if you look at the definition of palliative care, it is from the point of diagnosis until you go into remission, say, for example, with the cancer, or until, unfortunately, and if there's death. But I think that is the biggest misconception, is that it is only about end of life. And it is really about the diagnosis. It's about looking at, while we're trying to cure, we are providing palliative care. And if cure fails, palliative care becomes more than the curative care. And it's just that the two need to be working dovetailed together.
It's about not just giving a prescription. It's about being there and taking care of a patient on a more personal level. In South Africa, we've had the pandemic recently that threw up some challenges. Did we deal with them?
Very difficult question. I think what we found within the palliative care fraternity is that the pandemic made it harder for us to provide services, in that people were too afraid to come to hospital. If you've got a child who's immune compromised because of chemotherapy, you don't want to now be exposing them to the potential of a COVID diagnosis. So people became more insulated. And I think also what ended up happening for us was that diagnoses were delayed, in that, because the healthcare system became so focused on the pandemic. And again, people were too afraid to now enter a healthcare facility for fear of getting COVID. I think within the palliative care world, I know that we managed those people who were at the end of life because of the COVID diagnosis. Those people were getting a better quality of life towards their death, and they had a very peaceful death.
Wow. At the conference this year, your theme is palliative care is everyone's business. Why did you decide on this theme?
I think it's because of that misconception of what palliative care is. I think unless you are in a position where you need someone to provide you or a loved one palliative care, the thought of it is far away. And we want to say that it is everybody's business. It's every physician's business. It's every doctor's business. It's from the primary healthcare clinic to your main hospitals within the province. It is everyone's business to provide palliative care, because it's not about end of life. It's about ensuring that symptoms are controlled, that pain is controlled, that families are well counseled, and patients are well counseled, so they understand exactly what is going on, and that they're given choice. I think what so often happens is within the paternalistic nature of medicine, choice is taken away. And palliative care allows families to be involved in making decisions, in getting some choice and getting some control. So we want to really put it out there that everybody has a role to play when it comes to palliative care, not just palliative care specialists.
Well, that makes palliative care very intricate and very complex because it's not just the treatment of symptoms. It's the whole family, the whole support network is involved in the treatment of a patient or in the support of a patient's fight for health. And obviously, we are all different in the way we see life. We are all different in the way we see death, which completely changes things. To every individual patient has different needs. It must be terribly confusing.
It can definitely be, and I think that's where the multidisciplinary team, which is what palliative care is built around, becomes such an important part. So it's having your doctor who's looking, yes, at the physical stuff, but not just looking at the diagnosis, looking at all the things that are coming with the diagnosis and the side effects of drugs, and some of the other things that the patient might be experiencing that aren't necessarily linked to the diagnosis. And then it's bringing in your nurse and bringing in your social worker and bringing in your pastoral counselor, bringing in an aromatherapist to provide some other form of care. So it's really, as you said earlier, it's about that holistic team that sit together and look at how do we meet this family, this patient's needs as a team with different skills.
The Palliative Care Conference takes place from the 26th to the 29th of April in Cape Town. What are some of the topics that will be addressed? What can people expect if they attend the conference?
I think what we're looking at doing is to reach out and welcome people from a broad diversity of vocations and to try and bring them together, looking at how do we work with adults, adolescents, and children. And if we look at some of the topics, we're looking from cultural stuff to music therapy, to aromatherapy, to pain management, to ethics, to decision-making in an ICU. And I think we're going to really be looking at exchanging knowledge and new and innovative ideas as to how we can provide the best service to those patients. So, yeah, the topics are so widespread, and we're really excited because this is a first for South Africa. Palliative care is not a recognized speciality in the country. So to be able to bring all these brains together is going to be hugely exciting. And I think everybody's going to come away with a renewed passion for what we do.
There's 3 leading South African palliative care associations that are in a partnership in this conference: the Association of Palliative Care Practitioners of South Africa, the Palliative Care for Children South Africa, and the Hospice Palliative Care Association of South Africa. And these partners are all going to throw in all their weight in this conference. If I, as an outsider, would like to inform myself about palliative care in South Africa and the role I can play, can I also attend the conference?
Absolutely. It's not just for palliative care practitioners. As I said, it's and as the theme is, it's everyone's business. So, if you go on the website and you look and you find something that is really exciting, please come in, register for the day and join us, because the more people who know about what we do, the more it gets out there and the more people have comfort and love while they are ill.
Absolutely. Tracey, it's like they say, you never really understand someone's circumstances unless you've walked in their shoes. And with this conference, you kind of give someone just that inkling of what it's like and what the industry is about and palliative care is about. But thank you very much for joining us and sharing a bit of that information and knowledge with us this morning.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and have a great day.
You too. Dis natuurlik Dr. Tracey Brand en sy kom gesels oor die Palliatiewe Sorg-konferensie 2023 wat natuurlik plaasvind van die 26ste tot die 29ste April in Kaapstad.